Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation with a really important topic: how to rest without feeling guilty. Today, we'll explore ways to embrace rest and recovery and how to do it guilt-free. Over the next few slides, we'll cover practical tips and mindset shifts that can help you find balance. So, let's get started and discover how to prioritize your well-being while feeling good about it. There's a strange pressure in modern life, not just to achieve, but to be seen achieving. It's as if our success isn't complete unless others know about it. Even when we take pauses, they're expected to have purpose. For example, going to the gym, tracking meditation, or using weekends to catch up on everything. We've really learned to measure ourselves by motion, by how much we do, how busy we are. And that ties into the overall theme of how our culture has shifted toward valuing productivity and visibility over simply being present or at peace. So when we stop moving, there's this quiet whisper inside us, almost like a nagging feeling telling us that we're falling behind. It's that voice that makes rest feel uncomfortable, almost like a betrayal, not of others, but of ourselves. We start to think that taking a break means we're giving up or losing ground, but that's a misconception. Rest isn't laziness or idleness. It's actually an essential part of recovery and growth. It's an investment in ourselves, in our strength and resilience. Think about it. If your tank is empty, you can't keep driving at full speed. And yet, many of us have come to see exhaustion as a sign of dedication, as if pushing ourselves to the limit somehow proves how committed we are. But here's the truth. Rest is not a sign of weakness. Rest is the rhythm that sustains our strength over the long haul. It's what keeps us energized, focused, and ultimately capable of achieving our goals without burning out. So, embracing rest is really about honoring that natural rhythm and understanding that it's a vital part of staying strong and connected to our purpose. Let's deconstruct this for a moment. When we talk about the guilt behind stillness, what we're really addressing is a common misconception. Often, we've been taught that resting or doing nothing means we're not being productive or valuable. And that can lead to a lot of unnecessary guilt when we take a break. But here's the important part. Rest isn't just an absence of activity. It's actually a crucial part of the process. It's where that invisible work of repair and renewal happens. Rest isn't passive or unimportant. It's an essential component of overall productivity and well-being. Recognizing this helps us reframe how we view stillness and allows us to see it as a necessary, even vital, part of our journey. This ties into the overall theme of understanding how to work smarter, not just harder, by honoring the importance of rest. Just as our muscles need sleep to rebuild and strengthen, our minds also need moments of stillness to recalibrate and find balance. It's important to understand that the discomfort we often feel during rest doesn't actually come from the stillness itself. Instead, it stems from a withdrawal from validation, from the external signals that tell us we're doing well or making progress. When we stop producing, there's no immediate applause, no clear progress metric to track. All we're left with is our presence, simply being in the moment. And for an overstimulated mind, that presence can sometimes feel like a loss, like we're losing momentum or validation. But the truth is, rest isn't an interruption of progress. It's actually a vital part of it. Rest allows us to integrate what we've learned, to process, and to grow. So, in many ways, stillness isn't a pause, it's an essential step to move forward more meaningfully. Neuroscience now indicates something that wisdom traditions have long intuitively understood. That rest is not simply the absence of activity or growth. Instead, it's a critical period when both deepen and flourish. During periods of rest and sleep, our brains are incredibly busy behind the scenes. They actively work to consolidate memories, which helps us learn and retain new information. At the same time, neural pathways are strengthened, making connections more robust and efficient. Additionally, rest allows the brain to clear out metabolic waste that accumulates during focused activity. This cleaning process is essential for maintaining brain health and function. Rest also activates the default mode network, which is a quiet but powerful circuit that connects different ideas and thoughts. It often sparks those creative insights that focused effort alone might not produce. In essence, rest isn't a pause in progress. It's actually the phase where progress takes root and solidifies. It's where growth happens at a deeper level, laying the foundation for future achievement and innovation. This understanding aligns perfectly with the overall theme of balancing effort with rest for optimal growth and well-being. Everything alive moves in rhythm. Think about the tides, the way the ocean rises and falls, or our own breath, steady and automatic. Our heartbeat, that constant pulse reminding us we're alive, and even the changing seasons that mark the passage of time in nature. These rhythms are natural, essential, part of the flow of life itself. But somewhere along the way, amidst all our ambitions and pursuits, we learned to hold our breath. We became disconnected from these natural rhythms, often suppressing or ignoring them in our busy lives. This act of holding back, of not fully embracing the flow, can lead us to feel out of sync with ourselves and the world around us. So, as we reflect on this, I want us to consider how these natural patterns are not just background details, they're fundamental to our well-being. Reconnecting with these rhythms means realigning with the essence of life and remembering that movement and flow are at the heart of everything. Rest and effort are not opposites. In fact, they are partners in achieving our goals. When we push ourselves without taking time to rest, effort can turn into force, something that's unsustainable and draining. Conversely, if we focus only on rest and neglect effort, we risk drifting aimlessly without making progress. The key here is understanding the rhythm principle. It's not just some abstract philosophy, it's a practical approach we can apply every day. It's about finding that balance, that rhythm, between exerting effort and allowing ourselves to recover. By doing this, we create a cycle where our energy naturally renews itself, rather than burning out prematurely. It's about aligning effort and recovery so that they support each other, helping us sustain high performance over the long term. This is essential to maintaining momentum and achieving lasting success. The rhythm principle moves through 3 key ideas that I want to share with you. First, recognize your own pulse. Each of us has an energy rhythm, a tempo that naturally rises, cresting at the high points and then falling back down. It's important to be aware of this, because when we try to push beyond our natural rhythm, guilt can creep in, especially when we compare our pace to someone else. Next, we need to redefine what productivity really means. Rest isn't just downtime, it's restorative, and it plays a vital role in restoring our presence, not just our performance. It's not about whether we finished everything on our list, but whether we've returned to ourselves, reconnected and recharged. Finally, when we re-enter activity after rest, do so gently. Don't rush into a sprint. Transition with awareness, listening to your body and mind. Stillness teaches us that motion isn't a punishment, it's a privilege. Being mindful of our rhythm helps us work more sustainably and with greater clarity. All right, let's talk about the concept of the permission pause. Before you take a break, I want you to whisper to yourself, "I'm allowed to stop." This simple act is powerful because our minds often need clear, explicit permission to disengage. Without that, guilt can creep in and fill the silence, making it harder to truly rest or reset. So the key here is giving yourself that permission consciously. Practicing this can help you create guilt-free moments of renewal. Remember, taking a break isn't a sign of weakness or laziness. It's a vital part of maintaining your energy and focus. And by affirming to yourself that you're allowed to pause, you're reinforcing a healthy boundary with your work and your mind. This small shift can make a big difference in how you approach breaks and renewal throughout your day, keeping you balanced and more productive in the long run. Now, let's talk about moments that breathe. Rest doesn't always have to mean retreat or stopping completely. Sometimes, it's about taking small, intentional pauses throughout your day. A few slow breaths between tasks, for example, can make a big difference. A quick stretch or simply gazing at open space can help reset your nervous system and bring you back to center. These brief, intentional breaks teach your body that calm and purpose can actually coexist. They're not just pauses, but powerful tools to sustain your focus and energy. Remember, it's these small moments that help us maintain balance and resilience, especially when we're navigating busy or stressful days. Let's talk about engaging one sense at a time. For example, you might focus on the warm water on your hands, feeling its temperature and texture. Or you could notice the weight of your body resting on a chair, becoming aware of how it supports you. Another powerful cue is natural light on your face, which can help ground you in the present moment. The key idea here is that by anchoring ourselves in these simple sensations, we remind our bodies that safety doesn't have to come from moving or doing something active. Instead, safety can be found in awareness of what's already here. This approach aligns with the overall theme of mindfulness and calming techniques, showing that even small, sensory-focused actions can help us feel more grounded and secure. Remember, taking it one sense at a time can make a big difference in managing stress and anxiety. When we think about rest, we often imagine it as something that's all or nothing. Either it's fully complete or not at all. But the truth is, you don't have to complete rest for it to be meaningful. Even small moments of relief, even tiny interruptions of tension, kickstart the repair process in our minds and bodies. And here's the interesting part. Just 5 quiet minutes of genuine pause can actually sustain us for hours of focused, clear attention afterward. It's a powerful reminder that rest doesn't have to be long or perfect to be effective. Sometimes, it's the unfinished, ongoing nature of rest that makes it so valuable. Small, consistent breaks are enough to keep us functioning at our best. Now, let's talk about the importance of the return ritual. When you re-enter work after any break or pause, it's crucial to acknowledge that shift. Recognize that you're moving from a moment of stillness or reflection back into your busy environment. Take a moment to stretch your body, breathe deeply, and thank that stillness for what it has restored in you. This small act of gratitude helps you honor the transition and the reset you've just experienced. This gentle ritual is vital because it protects your balance. It prevents urgency from swallowing you whole as you jump back into tasks. By consciously acknowledging your return, you create a smooth, mindful transition that keeps you centered and grounded throughout your workday. Rest is often seen as the quiet half of discipline. It might not be as flashy as pushing forward, but without it, even our deepest purpose can start to burn out. True rest, though, isn't about taking a break from our drive or goals. It's about recharging and returning to them with more energy and clarity. It's not indulgence or laziness. It's actually a sign of intelligence and self-awareness. Think about the most creative minds, the most resilient hearts, and the most balanced lives. They all understand that recovery is just as important as effort. Respecting this balance is what keeps us sustainable, innovative, and resilient over the long haul. So remember, rest isn't a pause from discipline. It's a vital part of it. And it's not just your rest that matters. What we often overlook is that the world depends on invisible labor all around us. These are the partners, the parents, the service providers, volunteers, and even strangers who are all contributing behind the scenes. Each of these individuals deserves the right to pause, to take a break, without being judged. So, when you notice others slowing down or taking a moment for themselves, remember to judge kindly. Give them the same grace you're learning to extend to yourself. Because ultimately, this connects back to our overall theme: compassion, understanding, and recognizing that everyone, including ourselves, needs space to breathe and reset. By practicing this kindness, we foster a more supportive and empathetic world for everyone. Let ease return. When we talk about rest, it's not just about pausing or taking a break, it's about honoring it collectively. Because in doing so, rest transforms into compassion in motion. It becomes a shared breath, a collective acknowledgement that our well-being is interconnected. This shared breath, this collective act of caring, is what keeps humanity humane. It reminds us that compassion isn't just a feeling, it's a practice we nurture together. And ultimately, when we allow ourselves and others this ease, we foster a more compassionate, more understanding world. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. I really appreciate your support. Now I want to leave you with one final thought. How to New is all about inner athletics. It's not about competing against others, but about striving for excellence within ourselves. It's about pushing our own boundaries, cultivating discipline, and developing resilience from the inside out. Remember, the real competition is with who we were yesterday. So keep that in mind as you go forward, and continue to focus on your inner growth. Thanks again for being here, and take care.